Hello, dear students. Today we will speak about architecture in our life. Before it, we had spoken about education system of Russian, and today we will speak about architecture side of our country. Architecture in our life. Write down, please, the theme. Архитектура в нашей жизни. Before reading and translating the text, you should pay attention to the question, and after reading and translating the text, you should answer them. What is the architecture? What can you say about structure of architecture? Analyze the building types and insight into parts, cultures, and eras. What three great developments were in architectural construction? Architecture. Now, pay attention to the pronunciation. You also should read the text for good pronunciation and also translate them. Architecture. Architecture, the art of building in which human requirements and construction materials are related so as to furnish practical use as well as an aesthetic solution, this differing from the pure utility of engineering construction. As an art, architecture is essentially abstract and non-representational and involves the manipulation of the relationships of spaces, volumes, planes, masses, and words. Time is also an important factor in architecture, since a building is usually comprehended in a succession of experiences rather than all at once. In most architecture, there is no one vantage point from which the whole structure can be understood. The use of light and shadow, as well as surface decoration, can greatly enhance our structure. For example, you can pay attention to this picture about the structure of architecture. It also there are modern sites, modern buildings in our life, and these two buildings also. Every one of these picture, this building has another structure, and also its very creation. The analysis of building times provides an insight into past cultures and eras. Behind each of the greatest styles lies not a casual trend, nor bague, but a period of serious and urgent experimentation directed toward answering the needs of a specific way of life. Climate methods of labor, available materials, and economy of means all impose their dictates. Each of the greater styles has been aided by the discovery of new construction methods. One developed method survives uh, tenuously, giving way only once social change or new building techniques have reduced it. That evolutionary process is exemplified by the history of modern architecture, which developed from the first uses of structural iron and steel in the mid-19th century. For example, in this slide you can see some pictures about it is time of middle 19th century, and they are also another architecture comparing with our modern life. Until the 20th century, they were through great developments in architectural construction. The post and lintel or trapeted system, the arc system, either the cursive system type employing plastic materials hardening into a homogeneous mass, or the third type, in which the loads are received and counterbalanced at definite points, and the modern steel skeleton system. In the 20th century, new forms of building have been devised with the use of reinforced concrete and the development of geodesic and stressed skin light material reinforced structures. Also, architects began to use some other ways in building by using some new sites and ways in architecture in the 20th century. For example, in this picture you can see one example for it. Until the 20th century there were three gifts, and in the 20th century new forms of building have been devised. New sites of new structures or were used in architecture. And now you should translate this text. Also read the text for good pronunciation. Answer to the questions to the text. For example, pay attention to the picture. And our lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.